We are finally here. Magic vs. Larry Bird, a courtship of rivals, part 3.
It's JAMEENOD and I'm back up in the building, giving y'all hot topics and reactions and I'm feeling.
What's going on, YouTube? We are here, guys. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. The third and final part. I have learned so much about Magic, about Larry Bird, about the past history of the NBA. I think this is a must-watch for all NBA fans, past and present, because we almost didn't have this game. You know, we should be more appreciative of what we have. You know, I know the product is not as good right now, but there wouldn't be one without these two, man. And it's up to us to make this game better. So with that being said, guys, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. I will be going into the Dream Team documentary, and I will be doing individual players from that team. I will be doing a series on individual players that were on that team to learn more about them as well. With that being said, let's go, man. I enjoyed every single one of you guys.
Career because he never stopped working after that.
Magic was on a mission to prove to himself and the world that with the ball in his hands, he was still the one in control. And after his Lakers ran through the '85 season, he quickly got what he wanted, another shot at Bird and the Celtics.
They won the East, we won the West. So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
But that smile belied the intensity of the clash that awaited.
If I had a glass of water and any of those guys had been on fire, I would have drank the water and watched them.
They called us, chokers and sissies. We didn't like.
Yo, that is some real competitive nature. That is what the NBA is missing today. I will admit that. For those who know, yes, I am a big LeBron James fan, y'all. He is going to be in my top 5 of all time for sure. For sure, but that doesn't mean I can appreciate players from the past, because I have learned a lot, but it is missing this competitive nature. This is what made the game fun. But I get it, guys. They have to protect the players because the players is what moving the product in today's time. So I do get that, but let's move on.
And they thought less of us. I knew they did.
In '85, we played them 4 times in exhibition season for some reason. I don't know why they scheduled that. By the 4th game, there was an all-out brawl.
They call this one of the greatest rivalries in all of sport, the Celtics and the Lakers. And if that is true, it is the most one-sided rivalry in all of sports. 8 times these two have met for the NBA championship, and 8 times the Celtics have won.
At guard, in his 6th year from Michigan State, at number 32, Magic Johnson.
But in the '85 finals, Magic changed the script. Over 6 grueling games, he masterfully controlled the pace with all-around brilliance.
He has a triple-double again.
Behind their point guard, the Lakers finally knocked out the Celtics, winning the clinching game in the Boston Garden.
3 in 6 years, LA comes to Boston and wins the world title. Redemption for one Magic Johnson.
It's a long year last year to wait for this moment right now.
Magic had evened the score with Bird on the NBA floor, but the significance of their rivalry and their relationship was still just taking hold.
You crazy.
He definitely got his lick back. He got that smile back, y'all. He got that smile back.
I said, you're crazy. I'm not shooting no commercial with Larry. So I said, okay, what, we're gonna shoot it in LA?
I would never went to LA to film it.
Well, where are we gonna shoot it?
If you want to shoot a commercial, come to my house.
I was like, oh no. One stoplight. And I thought Lansing was small. I think the plan was, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm trying to get up out of here. My plan was that.
Even after Converse had convinced Magic and Bird to film a sneaker ad together in the summer of '85, a question remained. How would the two hated rivals on the court get along off of it?
I don't know how he's going to react. I don't know how I'm going to react. We didn't even shake hands, so how are we going to do a commercial together?
The ad was to be filmed at the home Bird had built for his mom. It featured a full-length basketball court, the day's first location.
So they say, okay.
Wait, time out, y'all. Time out. Did Larry Bird... Hey, hold on. His mom still stayed at the same location that they grew up in that small little town, and he built all that at her house? Is this where it's being shot at? Is this where they're shooting this at? Because he is through and through a country boy. Like, all the way.
Playing one-on-one, and I'm looking at Larry, and he's looking at me like, is this real? Are we playing? Because, this is Magic and Bird.
I could just hear Larry, starting in on, well, you bring it to the basket, and I'm going to send it 30 rows up.
So the guy was like, no, not like that. A fun game. We were both like, oh, okay. Like, like you can see this relief coming over both of our faces.
That brief détente led to the next stage, dialogue.
We sat down next to each other. How was your summer? Oh, it's going good. How was yours? It's going great. He said, man, it's a nice spread you got.
And he's asked me, is this where you play? I said, yeah, I play here if it's not windy. If it's raining or windy, I go to the gym. But this is where I do all my work.
I see that tractor. You work on the tractor? He said, man, I work on this tractor every day. Larry Bird work on a tractor? He said, yeah.
It's just them two walking and talking, and every once in a while they'd stop and one of them would say something, and then they'd start laughing.
Then they said, okay, break, it's lunch break time. I was going to my trailer. He said, no, my mother has prepared lunch for us up at the house.
We went up to the house and we sat down there and we talked, and my mom, my brothers thought the world of him.
His mother was so nice, making sure I had enough to eat. I just saw my mother. It was crazy.
He charmed her. You can see it. But that's Magic. He makes everybody feel welcome and warm, and he's a con man.
And while Magic charmed Georgia Bird, it was someone else who intrigued her son.
He met Irvin at lunch.
Irvin is a good dude. I like Irvin a lot better than Magic.
I was just so happy to finally be Irvin with him, because Magic was like, I don't know if I want to get to know this guy. But Irvin got a chance to talk about family, how he grew up. We just became two relaxed guys, just talking.
That day was great. It was a great day. Beautiful day.
Still, for Bird, ever the competitor, that's all it was. Just one day.
Magic thinks the next year, okay, well, now we're great friends, so, after the game, we're going to go out, we're going to have a beer. And Larry's like, no, you're right. I know you better. You're a good guy, but I still don't want anything to do with you.
He's a happy-go-lucky guy. If me and him got to be really good friends, go out on the court, he could still play the same game. I couldn't. I mean, that's just the way it is.
But when the ad hit the airwaves, for others, the perception changed.
I saw those limousines going through the cornfields, and I said, no, they didn't sell themselves out.
I heard Converse made a pair of Bird shoes for last year's MVP.
Yep.
But they made a pair of Magic shoes for this year's MVP.
Okay, Magic, show me what you got.
Oh, this is really...
The way he threw off his pants, yo. Okay. I cannot, y'all. That was too funny, yo. Oh, man. Okay, let's go.
They made a pair of Magic shoes for this year's MVP.
Okay, Magic, show me what you got.
Oh, this is really a business thing.
The Bird shoe, the Magic shoe.
And maybe that's where the business thing started to get bigger and began to trump who they both really were.
It polarized the whole idea of Lunch Bucket versus Hollywood. white versus black. Just cemented all the differences between them.
Kids weren't wearing black gym shoes because they didn't want to be associated with the Larry Bird camp. You wore your white Converse.
The basketball rivals had morphed into cultural warriors, and race, more than ever, had become an unavoidable part of the conversation. But nothing about Bird and Magic had ever been as simple as black and white.
One of the big reasons this rivalry became so emblematic of so many things is because it was an easy dichotomy for people to understand. But it's crazy to simplify it as saying white people like Bird and black people like Magic because 13% of the country is black. But it wasn't like 87% of basketball fans preferred the Celtics.
Who's your favorite basketball player? Magic Johnson. Who's your favorite movie star? Eddie Murphy. Pina, all you ever talk about is nigga this and nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas. It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince are not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean, let me explain myself. Has the N-word...
I actually saw that movie. That was a pretty good, that Spike Lee movie. I watched a couple of his movies.
...ever been used by a white person to describe Irvin? I doubt it.
But as Magic enjoyed his image as a crossover star, it was Bird, the one-time great white hope, who had further emerged as the polarizing racial figure, due in part to that era's increasingly conservative political climate.
The rolling back institutionally of the achievements of the civil rights movement were going on apace from about 1975 on. But the triumph of the movement that rolled it back took place in the 1980s. And I think there was people who were very aware in the black community of what was going on. And I think there was a lot of sublimated frustration. And I think one of the ways it got sublimated was into basketball. And I think Larry, through no fault of his own, was the receptacle within which the lingering resentments somehow floated.
And after Bird led the Celtics to the championship in 1986, his third in the pros, winning his third straight MVP award in the process, the resentment grew.
I always felt that the press was biased in favor of Larry Bird. It always felt to me like they were gonna make Larry the hero. You know, you'd see somebody score and Larry would be in a cast in a suit on the bench and they'd say, Larry Bird made that possible a couple weeks ago when he told that guy he could do it and he just did it. They gonna get his motherfucker the assist and he not in the game?
Not to be racist, but we have a white guy who's the best in the world. It's predominantly a black sport now, and you got a guy like Larry Bird who can't run, who can't jump, but can do everything out there.
That don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean anything to me. It never has. I don't know why.
See, the thing about Larry Bird was Larry just loved basketball. He didn't care about anything else. It's like the Jordan effect. Jordan only cared about basketball. There's another player just like that. His name is Kevin Durant. Like, he don't care about nothing else but basketball and his private life. And they're pretty, all three of them are pretty private. They're going out there to be competitive, and they're not really worried about much else. But the world doesn't want to hear that. They want you to stand on something. They want to look into your world. They want you to support what they support. That's how society is, you know, and has been for a long time.
I mean, am I doing something wrong here?
Bird may have sought to avoid the conversation entirely, but the more he won, the less he could escape it.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. What a play by Bird.
In 1987, after Boston beat the Detroit Pistons to advance to the finals for the fourth straight year, Pistons rookie Dennis Rodman called Bird overrated because he was white. His teammate Isaiah Thomas then chimed in with some thoughts of his own.
I think Larry is a very, very good basketball player. I think he's an exceptional talent. But I'd have to agree with Rodman. If he was black, he'd be just another good guy.
I can remember...
Boy, my boy Isaiah Thomas, man. Y'all know my boy Isaiah Thomas is going to say something like that, man. You know he going to say something like that because you know he could not take losing. And the Bad Boys, I'm gonna do the documentary on them too. I saw some of it. I know a little bit here and there, but he's always just gonna annoy the public. He's going to say something to grab everyone's attention. He wants that bad boy role. I really, truly don't believe Isaiah Thomas really believes that. I think he really thinks that Larry Bird, going off of the other things that I saw about him. But, you know, my boy Isaiah, he's a sore loser.
In the locker room, I think it was Jack McMullen came up to me and said, Isaiah just said, boom, 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 boom. And I go, so?
He didn't care. He didn't care. Everybody else around him cared very deeply in the days and weeks as it turned out ahead.
I mean, the media made it out like it was something. But it didn't matter to me what Isaiah or Dennis Rodman said. And it still don't. It has no bearing on what I do in my life.
He doesn't see race. He really doesn't. And he could have. This guy grew up poor, white, in southern Indiana. Southern Indiana, the home, by the way, of the modern Ku Klux Klan. How he managed not to be affected by the cultural milieu that he grew up in is, I think, a miracle. To me, it's inexplicable.
When I was in about 6th or 7th grade, I couldn't wait till school to be over because I knew over on the courts, the waiters from the hotel would be over there. They were black, older, and
that's why you can't judge a book by its cover, man. Because he comes from that, you know, he comes from a poor environment, you know, and you don't hear nothing bad about Larry Bird. Like, I never heard anything bad about Larry Bird growing up. He doesn't get the credit that's due to him for sure. And it is sad that, you know, he don't get the respect that, you know, after watching this that he should get, because he did become one of my GOATs after watching the film and looking at the stats and everything, records that he's broken. So yeah, I'm sure race did play a part.
let me play. You know, I always looked at that as I got an opportunity to play against a black man, and they treated me good. I couldn't wait to play against the best, and at that time, they were the best.
And in 1987, as Bird vied with Magic to be the best, the flap over Isaiah Thomas's racially fueled remarks forced Bird to address his least favorite topic at the worst possible time.
I had to go to a press conference when I was in LA trying to get ready to play the Lakers and tell people I didn't care, this don't bother me.
The main thing is if the statements or whatever was said doesn't bother me, I don't think it should bother any of us.
From playing all year trying to get back to the finals and play against Magic, this was a distraction.
Bird was facing off against Magic for the third time in 4.
I would love to have heard what Isaiah Thomas said right there, y'all. I think they dropped the ball right there. I really want to hear what Isaiah was going to say. You know, Larry being such a private person, for him to go on that stage and say that, it was like he was forced outside of his shell. You know, if he could, I think Larry Bird would just play basketball and not do any interviews and just go home after they win. Play the game, go home, not talk to anybody. Come back, go home. He would have lived life just like that.
Years.
He didn't care about being a star.
And if their relationship had softened, the determination to beat each other had not. As Game 4 proved, the level of competition between them was higher than ever.
Bird played awesome down the stretch of that game.
Trailing 2-1 in the series, the Celtics were down by 1 point in the final minute of the game. But Larry Bird wouldn't be easily vanquished.
Open his aim. Bird goes for three.
Somebody in my comment section said Magic Johnson had a set shot. No, that was a set shot. Not the stuff he was heaving. I don't think Magic Johnson, like the shots that I saw Magic Johnson do, it was like a heave and a shot put in one. That I don't know what that was. It was like he was throwing a floater from the three-point line. That's a set shot for the guy who was talking about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Talking about that was a set. That was no set shot. Let's keep it real.
With 7 seconds left, though, the Lakers still had life. 3 years earlier in the '84 finals, Magic had flubbed a similar situation. But this was a different Magic, one with a whole new bag of tricks.
My man switched to Kareem, and Kevin McHale jumped out to me. As soon as I saw Kevin, I said, oh, I'm taking him.
You know, Magic puts it on the floor, a couple head and shoulder fakes, And he raised up in the air, and there was nobody that was going to get that shot.
Hit him with the Kareem, his own player shot, man. Hit him with his own hook shot, man. That was a pretty shot, though, too.
I remember after they called timeout thinking, there's still a shot here. Celtics may still win this game.
Well, they set up a great play. Bird walked Worthy all the way up, forced the denial all the way up.
We've done it before. Clear everybody out, go to the ball, and break to the corner.
He caught it here, and as he caught it, all he had to do was turn. And just turn, and he just let this thing go.
Bird fires it.
Got a wide open look, couldn't believe it.
And I'm standing right there. It is straight as an arrow.
Dead on.
And the Lakers have won.
They were lucky because it was right on line.
He looked at me like, how did you ever leave me that wide open?
You gotta be kidding me. Changed the whole series.
The Lakers won the series in 6. And in the aftermath of a year in which Magic had won his first MVP.
Yo, that's the type of shot you hold your breath on. Like, your heart is beating so fast watching that ball in the air. Especially when you think it's going in. Like, it's like you can't breathe watching that shot. You know, Larry was a pinpoint shooter, man. So you like, oh my goodness. Like, you just holding your breath. That's the type of shot that was.
The rivalry suddenly took on a new tone.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
I was shocked that he said it because I thought to myself, maybe this is the beginning of a new era that's not going to include him. It was the passing of the torch a little bit.
After vanquishing Bird in '87, Magic wasn't done winning. The following year, he squared off in the finals against his good friend Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons, beating them to become the NBA's first repeat champions in 2 decades. By the dawn of the 90s, he'd won 5 titles, played in 8 finals, and equaled Bird's MVP tally of 3. But the more Magic won, the less Irvin seemed to be around to reap the spoils.
Once I tasted the champagne and the championship, I wanted more of that and more of that. So Magic kept growing because we were successful. And the persona and all of that came with that.
Magic was a bad boy, yo. He took over the game in other ways. Like I said, I don't think Magic had an all-around game. I think the success of Magic, you had to have certain players around him. I don't think he was an all-around scorer like Larry Bird was. I think Larry could do more with less because he was a scorer. You know, he could score in different ways. Like Carmelo Anthony can post up. Larry Bird can post up. Melo can hit the 3. Larry Bird can hit the 3. Larry Bird can back you down and hit the mid-range. Carmelo Anthony hits you with the mid-range. You know, they both got a sneaky athleticism to them. They're not like the most athletic, but it's a sneaky athleticism. You know, he can pass. So they were the best of the best at that time, him and Magic.
The Prince of L.A. was now the king. And in Hollywood, being royalty had its perks.
Wow. What was Irvin Johnson's vice? Now, you know my publicist wants me to say winning. But women loved Irvin.
Back then, before voicemail, they used to have these mail slots in the hotels where you leave your key. And when we get into a town, Irvin's mail slot would be so packed, and it would be just Susan and a phone number, Linda and a phone number, Joyce and a phone number. I mean, that was every city, every time.
I was on top of my game as Magic, so I needed all that around me.
Yo, there's a thing that goes around with this picture. This is going to be kind of dark humor. But I was on Facebook, there was a post saying this was the day he most likely caught that HIV virus. I was like, Wow, y'all. Don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. I was like, yo, that is a wild statement. But they said they think that this was the day. I was like, yo, y'all are wild for that.
At that time, the women, the this, the that, Hollywood.
Magic was living in a context of sybaritic excess from the minute he walked in the door. And he developed a sweet tooth for it.
Sex with several women at the same time.
Yeah. Like I said, women have different fantasies. Some want to be with 2 or 3 at a time. One time I had 6 at one time. That's just...
Bruh. Stop the cat magic. Why are you putting this on the women? No, you had all these different fantasies. You like 2 or 3 women at a time. These women just wanted you. They have been happy with just you by yourself. No, your sweet tooth got sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter as the years went on. Okay, you already tried to play us for the fool talking about you went to the Playboy Mansion for. No, we know what you went there for, man. You ain't gotta lie, Craig. All right, you ain't gotta lie.
I really do believe he looks upon Magic Johnson as a movie character he played. I think Irvin got overwhelmed in LA by what it meant to be a star.
That's probably true that the Magic ego swallowed Irvin a little bit, but that's okay because I couldn't win 5 championships without that.
Through all of this haze of women and money and fame and fortune, he still kept basketball at number 1. He never seemed to lose that focus.
All right, y'all, we're going to stop right here. So we're actually going to do a 4th and final one because I don't want these to be way too long and y'all get disengaged. I want to make sure I'm truly engaged in this whole story. This whole documentary just keeps getting better and better and better and better. I mean, it hit on everything: racism, overcoming obstacles, overcoming your own demons, friendships, their NBA fame, their college fame, the dying of the league, the resurrecting of the league. The coming of shoe deals with these 2 players with their Converses. I didn't know they both had Converses, but they were just 2 different colors. So that was news to me, to have 2 rivals with the same shoe company. You don't see that too often, with them, buddy like that with the shoe company. But they are the start of that, not Michael Jordan. I'm starting to see that it was most likely these 2 that they brought the league to a certain height. With that being said, guys, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and yeah, we'll get back to the final and last part 4. It's JAMEENOD, boy.
It's JAMEENOD, and I'm back up in the building, giving y'all hot topics and reactions, and I'm feeling. Comment your suggestions and I got ya. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Oh my, I got another one.